Hello, and welcome to another episode of Conscious Mind Tripping with me, your host, Audrey Newmont, and the author of the Mind Trip game, Play Your Way to Conscious Thinking. And today we are on to the tools. This is where the good stuff happens. This is where you are in the moment of really getting some tangible, do these things, and your life is going to change stuff. You ready? Let's start reading. The tools for transformation. Just real quick, this word transformation, the way I did it with the heart and the caterpillar and the butterfly in the world, you know, the whole thing around a caterpillar turning into that butterfly, there's a lot to that, and I just love it. So, this is new rules, innovative tools, and clever hacks for the conscious journey to your destination. And so, these are the tools: be mindful, fear into power, power statements, choice point timeline, constructive communication, victimization loop, mindful meditation, creative visioning, power packed prayer, and daily alignment and balance. So we'll start with be mindful, avoid accidental thinking. Sometimes when you're getting to the answer of anything, you can look at the opposite and it can help to define it better. The opposite of mindful would be mindless. And as you can see from the amount of accidental driving that we have on our actual roads, there's a lot of mindless drivers creating a lot of damage. So, how are they actually mindless and in accidental thinking? They usually aren't paying attention to the road. Sometimes they have missed the exit and are trying to get back in and they cause an accident. They may be driving too close to other drivers, or maybe they are under an influence, and not totally present. You can see how being mindless can create chaos. Mindful, being the opposite, creates calm. Mindful equals attention on the road, paying attention to the road signs along the way. Mindful is giving space and holding healthy boundaries. Mindful is being present and working through addictions. Another part of being mindful is to have a better understanding of how the mind brain actually works, and more importantly, to use that information to reroute destructive habits, beliefs, and ideas. I would say that this version of mindful is about being curious and open to new ideas and beliefs. It's being able to look at all things with logical, reasonable, and deductive thinking. There will be more on this very soon. Keep driving. If you want to go around the track fully charged and powerful, then becoming more in the present moment, being aware and intentional is vital. Number one in the tools for transformation is to recognize the unconscious and unaware thinking you have going on. So your thoughts are tremendously powerful. Think for a minute about your life currently. Notice how you have manifested things around you. You thought, I will do this as my job, or maybe I will accept that job as mine because I want the money I will earn. You may have thought, I will pursue that man or woman and create a partner, a love of my life, or you let yourself get picked and settled for who picked you. One of my favorites, you went about the business of intentionally creating children, or maybe not so intentionally. When you are not focused and intentional, your mind chatter is instinctive and mostly unconscious. As science will testify, our negative thinking is most of the time in fear mode with our attention on the negative aspects of life. My friends, this is the kind of thinking that creates roadblocks, detours, and accidents. When I'm working with clients, it's my job to notice within the conversation the thoughts, beliefs, and ideas that they are creating their life from. This is the point of their unconscious creation, that part of them that does not know what they don't know. Using that information, then I'm able to point out to them how they are creating what they don't want. There are so many examples of how this shows up in every aspect of our lives. And some examples I've heard are, I try so hard and I don't get what I want. I'm so worried all the time. I am broken. All the good guys or girls are taken. I'm not smart. I'm not strong enough. I will probably say this a million times more in my lifetime. Life really is an outpicturing of our consciousness or unconscious thinking. Basically, you are either in conscious planning and construction mode, or you're in the unconscious improvising and destruction mode. The universe does not care what mode you're in. The intelligence that is creating all things is responding to your thinking and your feeling. Our brain uses information to process what that thinking is. We perceive some situation that someone has said or done, and we come up with a thought about it. Could be a constructive or destructive thought. It's your choice. One key to life is to make sure that you know that you do have a choice. So, how do you own that choice? So you can choose to pay attention to the mind chatter, and with that statement, you might ask, what is mind chatter? So one of my favorite authors, Michael Singer, really has a great conversation about that special subject. And he wrote, there is nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind. You are the one who hears it. Michael A. Singer, and it's in The Untethered Soul. Highly recommend that book. Great for understanding our inner voice more deeply. Many people may get triggered by the idea that they have a little voice in their head. In fact, I've worked with many clients who quite literally had a little voice in their head that they knew was not their own. It's a very disturbing situation, and fortunately, all the people that came to me with that particular problem are resolved with the voice, and they in the process came to own their own voice more powerfully. With what we are doing with the whole car analogy, let's consider the voice in your head the number 3 driver in the back seat, otherwise known as the kid in the back seat. You can even give them a name. Mine in the back seat is Audie in the back seat. She can get really chatty sometimes with that little voice of your kid in the back seat of your mind thinking, and oh, what is that little voice of your kid in the back seat of your mind thinking and saying to you? It's a good idea to listen to them. In many ways, they have been the primary driver and causing chaos. I've had some amusing moments with clients about their kid in the back seat. I've described to many clients that they so do not want to listen to their inner child that it's like they're driving a limousine and they have rolled up the window between them in the back seat. Then looking back and saying, I can't hear you. Really, you need to be quiet. Some of the names that they have given to their kid are amusing as well. Actually, I had a guy, I don't think I say it in here, I was working with, and told him about that thing with the limo. It's like you put up that window and you're just not listening to him at all. And he laughed at me and he said, oh, Audrey, I've taken it one step further. He's in a U-Haul in the back. It's very amusing to me. I mean, you have to look at the levity in this. I mean, you got to make it somewhat fun. That's why we're having a game format with it. We want to be more playful. We want to not make it so serious and so dreadful. For you, come up with something that you feel comfortable with, a name or phrase that you can use for that kid in the back seat that brings them emotionally closer to you. Imagine looking back over the seat and having a conversation with that younger version of you, a conversation where you know that you, the number 2 adult driver, is listening. Examples of this are when you have anxiety and you stop the car. This part of communication is listening to what the anxiety is about. You, as the adult, are listening to the younger you say something like, "I'm anxious this will happen," like it happened before. "I'm worried they won't like me. They didn't like me in the past." So think about it for you. What are those things that create anxiety? What are those things that create a conversation with that kid in the back seat? What are they thinking? Are you able to listen to them? Here's another quote from the fabulous Mr. Singer. He's saying it well. "You are not your thoughts. You are aware of your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You feel emotions. You are not your body. You look at it in the mirror and experience this world through its eyes and ears. You are the conscious being who is aware that you are aware of these inner and outer things." Again, Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul. So here is a mind road trip for mind-brain chatter. So for the next few days, just pay attention to your own little voice in your head. Write down what it's saying. No judgment. Just notice for now. Notice especially when you have feelings of anger, worry, anxiety, or stress. That is where those unconscious negative thoughts can be easily found. Be patient with yourself. If you find that there are a lot of challenging beliefs and ideas that you've been holding on to about yourself or others, you are in process and you get to change those ideas soon. So again, with Joe Dispenza, your thoughts are incredibly powerful. Choose yours wisely. And that's again from his book, You Are the Placebo, Making Your Mind Matter. So I have a picture here in mind-brain chatter. And so your brain is basically the processor. There's one brain and there's many minds. So the processor, your brain, and then the different minds are the minds we have about our family and friends, work, career, fun and games, love, life partner, health and wellness, nature and sports and social media. So we have all these different minds, all these different ways that your mind travels in all these different directions, all these routes. So I have been talking professionally with people for my entire life, and one thing that I know from all these thousands of conversations is that people have a lot of chatter going on in their heads. When I used to be a hair designer, I spent most of my time listening to my clients and asking the why, what, where, when, and how questions. I enjoyed hearing other people's stories, and I have the ability to envision what they said in my mind. Many times they would be surprised at how much I remembered when they would see me again. I was not a therapist at that time, so I didn't question the chatter that they would share. That doesn't mean that I didn't notice and question in my own mind how challenging it would be to have such an extensive and emotional conversation about things that are not important in the day-to-day business of life. One example of this kind of chatter is when you go over and over again on what you would have said to someone you may be angry with without taking some form of action to make it better. I have witnessed many clients and in my own life where a client will come in and share with me the chatter that has been going round and round in their mind. Many times it's that they are angry with someone. They have been mulling over and over what the person did or said for days, even weeks, and sometimes years. Not only has this taken up headspace, but it's also creating an energetic tension in the body and with the other person. My job is to show them, and now you, a new perspective of the chatter and give the tools to rewrite the new scenario of what is wanted, intended for things to be. Chatter simply doesn't matter. Chatter, in my definition, is the mind rolling in thoughts that are not constructive, productive, uplifting, motivating, or affirmative. Chatter is letting the kid in the back seat go on without checking them. You can tell when the chatter is rolling when you feel like you're in the victimization loop. More about that tool coming up. Let's look at some more information about your mind brain and that miraculous organ in your head that is directing you in the traffic of life. I love all of this. So, your mind controls your information and energy. Your mind is co creating the wonderful or terrible experiences in life. Every new thought creates a unique pattern of your brain roadmaps. You have a natural ability to restructure your brain and your thinking process. Your mind is always busy designing the very structure of your brain that helps you make decisions. Here's another, this one's real interesting. The brain will picture what to create based on where your attention and perception is. Think about it like this. Your brain is thinking in pictures. So when we say don't run or stop chewing with your mouth open to a child, their mind is picturing running and chewing with an open mouth. When you say anything with don't, won't, can't, or etc., the brain is picturing whatever follows. Be aware and say and focus on what you want. So, like with these kids, instead of saying, don't run, you say, please walk. Please eat with your mouth shut. Like I tell my granddaughter, like a lady. She's so cute. She says, I'm eating like a lady. The brain is tuning in and acquiring inspired information, intelligence. Your intelligence is not in the little brain. It's like you are picking up on satellite and using a guidance system to help with navigation. Your brain is always transmitting with your heart, and your heart is always connecting to your brain. This process, this programming into your unique yet navigational system each and every day. It is a big part of determining your roadmap destination. Here's another quote by the fabulous Dr. Lipton. If the brain expects that a treatment will work, it sends healing chemicals into the bloodstream, which facilitates that. That is why the placebo effect is so powerful for every type of healing, and the opposite is equally true and equally powerful. When the brain expects that a therapy will not work, it doesn't. It's called the nocebo effect. Dr. Bruce Lipton. So the mind in action. Another way at looking at the neural network in the brain is to think of this as the roads of your mind. You have regular patterns, better known as habits, that you follow. This is your current operating system. Don't think of it as right or wrong, bad or good. It's just how you've gone about your life up to this point. When you consider those parts of your life that you want to change, this is the starting point. Just as much as you say, this is who I am, or it's how I've always done it, this is an opportunity to pave a new road in your mind that is in alignment with who and what you really want, with what you really want. Being stuck, unhappy, resentful, bitter, or depressed isn't who you are. It's just where you've been. And so you see in this description here, there's all of these pathways that we all have in our mind. And I'm not going to go into all the details of what this picture looks like, but it's really important to understand that As much as we have these ideas of beliefs, this is who I've always been, it doesn't mean that that's who you always have to be. The mind has what's called plasticity, and it's able to realign, to readjust. We're able to create a new neural pathway in our mind, really lock and load that information. Transforming the mind is so much easier when you have a better understanding of what the mind does and how to do it. To be clear, you have one brain and many minds. When you begin each new moment, there is a unique part of your mind brain that you are accessing that is involved in doing the actions, speaking your words, individual mannerisms, basically all the business of your day to day activities. Think about it. Who are you when you're with your friends? Who are you when you're with your work associates, your partner, your kids, and your parents? The many minds that make up you. Mind is the Brain in Action by Dr. Joe Dispenza. That's from his book, Becoming Superhuman. So think about your day. What is your normal? At home, do you start with a cup of coffee or tea? Do you tune into social media or the news first thing in the morning? A lot of people do. They'll pick up that phone first thing. Are you doing that? Not a problem, not bad. I'm just having you look at your life here. Do you go to the gym? Do you meditate first thing? Do you call someone? What are the automatic actions you don't even think about and just do? So really think about your life when you get up in the morning. What are those things that are just like unconscious? We're just doing it, not really even thinking about it. How about your job? Are you at work at the same time every day? What are the repetitive thoughts that you may have at work? What are your habits there? Do you have a nightly routine? Many people have regular shows that they like to watch to unwind. Do you have any drinks or other substances to chill out at the end of the long day? How about comfort food that is comforting? Our minds can certainly be on an autopilot with that. Many people shared with me that they have gone to the refrigerator and are sitting eating without even realizing that they got up to get the food. Totally unconscious behavior. In this instance, the kid in the back seat put up the window in the limousine and told the adult, "No worries, I got this. We're just going to enjoy this moment and nothing else matters." That's all fine and good until the adult realizes that they are now suffering for whatever consequences from that behavior. It's interesting to take the time and think about that. How many things do you do that are just, what in the world was I thinking? We do have all these ways that we be, and many people have said to me that it's just who I am. We get so stuck in the habitual thoughts that we just think this is just what I do. It's our lot in life. Well, it is until it isn't. To really understand our ability to get stuck in to get stuck in a one lane highway in your mind, I'm going to give you an example of someone very close to me, my mother, who is now deceased. She had a time in her 40s to 50s where she massively got stuck in a routine that felt safe for her, and she became agoraphobic. She had extreme anxiety and panic attacks when she left the protection of her home. And this lasted for 10 years until finally she had enough. The safety had become her jail. One day she changed her routine and went for a walk down the block. The next day, around the block, and then around the neighborhood until finally she got in the car and experienced the world in a new way. I was so impressed with her. She did not go to a therapist. She just made a commitment to herself and went with it. She did a similar thing with ending the habit of smoking. She smoked cigarettes from 13 years old until New Year's Day during her 60th year. She decided that she had enough with that addiction and quit cold turkey with no outside help. This mindless, unconscious habit was replaced by a mindful, conscious intention to no longer be a slave to the programmed mind. She rewrote the program, and so can you. Here's how you do it. Consciously pay attention to your day and to what your attention has been on. This is just to begin the process of understanding more about how your mind works. To be clear, your mind gets set in borders that you have created for yourself. Be willing to step out of your regular daily routine and mix things up a bit. Like my mother, she walked until she got in her car, then she owned the driver's seat and made life happen. One way to create a new mental program is through imagination. When you imagine you create a new approach in your mind. To do this, you want to think outside your own box. The mental road trip will help you with that. So, get comfortable and take some time for this exercise. The mind road trip for expansion. So imagine in your mind that you've been driving the roads of your childhood neighborhood all your life up to now. You never left. It is comfortable, safe, and predictable. Now imagine that you are going on your first fabulous road trip. What is your intention for this trip? Really think about that. What do you want? What's the intention right now? What areas of your life are getting an upgrade? Think about how exciting it is to see new things, experience great new adventures. This mind trip is exciting, fun, and wildly sane and a safe adventure. Picture in your mind where you are directing yourself to go. Let your imagination go free, unlimited, and expansive. Keep focused on the feelings that are in line with your intentions and feel the feelings that lift you up. Once you have that image of your best and highest for now, take a mental snapshot of the image. Hold that in the forefront of your mind and write down on paper how that feels for you and some actions you can take to make it happen. It can be small actions like my mother just walking down the block, or as big as you feel comfortable with. After you've done the previous exercise for a few days, switch to this exercise. Take your phone and set a reminder for first thing tomorrow morning. The reminder is to let you know that today is a brand new day. I get to choose. Then do things differently. It can be something subtle like choosing different kinds of clothes to wear that day. Maybe if you pick up your phone first thing, wait until after breakfast. If you turn on the news first thing, maybe switch to an inspiring podcast. Like mine. Might be that you shower first, then have that first cup of joe. Maybe get up and take a walk first thing to get the blood moving. You decide. Just pick something each day to switch in your routine. Another option for this exercise is to use a physical calendar, and you could put some new habits to eliminate or create. Small changes add up. Many of my clients who do this have looked back at their calendar. It gives them new perspective for how much they have positively changed. So that thing with the calendar, I have a calendar that I use on a regular basis. So if you want to, each week at the beginning of the week, I'm going to do this for this week, and then do it for the week. And then at the end of the week, really look at what the difference is. Look at what has changed. Look at what you've gained. Look at how you feel. And then you're on to the next week. You know, it's fun to kind of book in fun things for yourself, to book in things that you know are going to level you up. And like my clients have done, you look at it at the end of the year and it's like, wow, we forget how much we change. We forget how much we grow. It's a lot of fun to acknowledge that as well. So I'm going to go for the subconscious destructive thinking on the next video. That one is a whole conversation in itself. So, again, thank you so much for all the time here. Thank you for listening. And again, feel free to share this with your friends and your family. And I will see you on the next trip. Have a good one.